All right, we are live, and normally I don't do this, but today is the opportunity to do it. I am doing a Q&A because I know most people are a bit curious about the things that I do and how I get to travel throughout the country, and the many stories of impact that I have had the honor to be able to see and experience. Let me bring this right back into the frame. As you know, my name is Ovi Vasquez, and I do get to speak all over the United States. Let me see if I can get the chat here going. And I should be live now in every platform that I am connected in. For those of you who may be interested in being interviewed in my podcast, that is right and upcoming, it's called Leadership Messengers, as you can see it right here. Let me make sure that the camera is popping up the way that it's supposed to. And this Ask Me Anything is truly an opportunity for those of you who are curious about, again, my career, my impact, leadership, marketing, sales, publishing books, and all kinds of questions that you may have, even travel. I am not passionate about traveling. I am most passionate about helping others understand and discover their potential, and then potentialize their potential, so realize it, so they can get to their next step in their journey to succeed. I believe that we can succeed through education. That is the reason why I encourage most people to continue to get uh, education. And I always try to say, get as much education as you can for free. Therefore, I share lots of resources so that those people who may be inspired to pursue higher education can find a way to do so. Again, I want to answer as many questions as you may have. And because I am doing this live very unexpectedly, most people are probably at work. So right now, I'm just making sure that it's working properly in every platform that it is supposed to go to. But let me give you some value as you get to watch this replay. Some of the key principles that can help you get to your next step of success is truly the mindset of keeping an open mind and always continue to learn and develop yourself so that you can become the better version of yourself or the best version of yourself. And that version of yourself can add the most value to others. And as you add the most value to others, then this should allow you the opportunity to receive compensation for this value that you have. Okay. That's what it should allow you to do. Another thing that you can keep in mind is associating your name with names of other people or organizations that are reputable, so that way your name can begin to build up this reputation and influence of power or access. And that on itself or in itself should serve as a key to open the very next door that you are supposed to go through. Now, if there is a door that isn't opening for you, it may be because you may not be ready for it yet, or you may not have the key or the password for it yet. And the password, it can sometimes be literally a word, meaning your vocabulary, or it can be your password can be your network. So a person that knows you and that you know them. And that is one of the things that you can keep in mind. Another thing that you can keep in mind as you continue to pursue the very next thing on your journey to success, joy, fulfillment, happiness is building up others. Building up others, no matter how built they are. This is because the reciprocity will kick in at any moment, and you are not doing it with that intention, but it does happen in that way. People want to help you along the way. There have been some relationships professionally that I've built over the last whole decade, and I've never asked for a single favor. And suddenly in casual conversations, people say, Ovi, I know someone that needs this, that needs that, that needs that. When I never even preempted the conversation to ended up leading towards this point of referring me or referring someone to something related to them and me doing business together, or doing something that leads to gains from their end or gains from my end. One other factor you can consider is your energy. Having a positive energy, or having a positive outlook in life, it should help you help others see or perceive your positive attitude about things, and your positive attitude on how you approach certain problems or certain thing that needs to be resolved. In this case, as you approach it with a positive attitude, you should be able to then take your time and invest your time to acquire as much competence so that you build aptitude. And that way, this is going to allow you the key to execute on whatever ideas you may have. As you have better and better ideas, better quality of ideas, this is going to give you the opportunity to showcase to others, to showcase to the world. You can showcase it to the world through the internet. This is why many people can help out others even when they don't even know you, because you showcase this result that you have produced. And when it gets to the right people that are impacted most by it, then you should get the support that you may not even be expecting. That is what happened with my personal story. Everyone around me already knows my story. They already knew my story from me going through the trials and tribulations and the obstacles and everything that got on the way. And those people never paid me $10 for me sharing my story with them. They already knew it. But the people that did not know me, however, the people that don't know me now, when they get to know me, and they begin to learn about my personal story, because again, I have leveraged my personal story as my vehicle to take me to traveling all across the United States and impacting tens of thousands of people. When those unknown individuals, unknown to me, okay, they are important individuals, but they were unknown to me. I did not know these individuals existed. And when they became aware that I exist, when they became aware about my personal story, guess what happened? They valued it, and they continue to value it now. So much so that I changed my life completely, and I am talking about it professionally, because personally, I've always had a positive outlook in life. But professionally, because then they began compensating me financially for, I say it like this, simply sharing my story. But it's not simply sharing my story, because the story is not simple. The story is relatable, the story is impactful, the story is inspirational. So there will be people who you not know right now. This is why I love listening to the great comedian Steve Harvey with the big mustache, with the bald head, where he said, you should have a big dream. The dream should be so big, so crazy. People think you're out of your mind. And you don't need to know how this thing is going to come about. The how is irrelevant. Now, let's work some logic into this. Well, you don't need to know how it's going to happen. What I think he meant is, when he says you don't need to know how, he meant it in the way that I was just sharing with you now. I didn't know the people that have hired me to speak and share my story. I did not know they existed. I did not know these organizations existed. I did not know these associations existed. I did not know these events existed. So I did not know the how. But I did have the dream of traveling across the nation impacting others with my story, with my life story. I am not a genius. I haven't discovered anything new. I am not a celebrity. I haven't been featured with Tony Robbins. I haven't been featured with Les Brown, with Brendan Burchard, with any of David Goggins. I haven't been featured with anyone. Any, in fact, you may be watching this and you'll be like, I don't even know who this guy is. And no one really needs to know who you are except the ones that will care about who you are, what you've been through, what message you can deliver, and how valuable it is to them. And this has allowed me to having this big dream, not knowing how it was going to happen, but because I took strategic steps, it took me to then being getting in front of the right people. Let me check here on my cell phone. I, I I I carry two cell phones with me. I've got here a um a Samsung on one hand, and I've got here an iPhone on the other hand. Now, my favorite happens to be the Samsung. This one I only use it. The iPhone I only use it for a couple of apps. And I like to check whether people may be asking a couple of things because it may not show on the platform that I'm using to live stream it simultaneously to many different platforms right now. But I want to make sure that those of you who have a specific question to ask so that you can get the most value, I can deliver this value to you. Then otherwise, I can, of course, deliver as much value as possible within these 10 minutes that I have now. So that way on the replay, people can see what happens. Okay, let me share with you another strategic step that you can do to truly get to that next level, truly get to the next step that you may be looking for. You may, of course, be successful financially, have $1 million, two, three, $4 million in your bank account. Totally fine. I met a lady in San Jose, California, where she was speaking about people oftentimes are rich in money, but poor in life, in quality of life. Meaning, this is why some people who are extremely wealthy, they still take their lives, sadly. Now, money is an extremely good tool to make a good thing in the world happen. I personally never really understood why people go walk and climb Mount Everest, and why people run 10, 40 miles, 50 miles, marathons, and things like that to find purpose in their life. I really think the most pragmatic or practical approach to do so is look at the person next to you. Look at the person that lives in your neighborhood. Go help them if you can. Go help them if you can. And don't get me wrong, I also understand that lots of people we help and they don't even appreciate the help. But truly, in the moment when you're helping, you feel good about the process. And so, if you love running, then of course, by all means. If you love climbing, of course, by all means. But my point is, I don't think that I should put my life at risk by climbing Mount Everest so that I can find purpose in life. I can simply look at my neighbors in my community and do something to impact them positively without putting myself at risk. That's the way that I look at it, right? And so finding purpose is by looking around and see what you can do with the things around you. That's my perspective. Of course, it's not a universal perspective that should apply to everyone, but that is how I've looked at that. And it's worked out for me quite well. Let me see. Another point that you can use to get to the next level is associating yourself. Associating yourself with a company, institution, organization, association, a person, a brand, a message. But you associating yourself with the right individual should bring the right image to you, the right branding. So that way, those that are interested in that thing that you now have associated yourself with, can then bring you to whatever this thing is that you're looking for, whatever that level is, whatever this circle is. In this case, if you associate yourself with someone that travels lots like myself, that share my story, it's likely that you're going to learn the ins and outs of this career. And it's likely that you then will be able to duplicate or replicate the process. Maybe not the result. Maybe you do it better. Maybe it doesn't work so well for you, but you will learn the process. Or you can associate yourself with a specific topic that makes you most valuable. I have adopted the mindset of learning as much as I possibly can about leadership and excellence because I found that those are the two topics that people admire most. People admire leadership, excellence, integrity, and values that truly make a person a great person, right? Being courageous, being of service to others, and being mindful about other people. And also at the same time, being someone that operates at a high level through peak performance and bring about results that are uncommon. And when your results are uncommon, the response that you should get, the reward that you should get, it's probably going to be uncommon. And that's why lots of people, they say, I get paid $20 an hour, I get paid $30 an hour, I get paid $15 an hour. But in reality, as Jim Rohn said, you never get paid for the hour itself. Because if you would get paid for the hour itself, you could stay at home and you will simply receive checks for these hours. What you do get paid for is for the value that you give into this hour, that you put in, that you deliver into this hour. That's why some people get paid $20 an hour, and there are some people who get paid $100,000 per hour. Yes, there are people that get paid that much. If we dig in specific into specific fields, there are people that are remarkably valuable to the marketplace. And as Jim Rohn said, you are already a valuable person, a valuable member of society, a valuable member of your community, a valuable member of your family, a valuable individual. But to the marketplace, however, you may not be as valuable as you believe yourself to be. And so, therefore, by you acquiring more skills, associating yourself with the right people, the right topic, the right message, the right association, the right company, that should bump up the value a little bit. So hopefully society begins to see you in that way and reward you accordingly. And when this happened, then those that didn't take the actions that you took are going to be perplexed as to how come you made it happen. Why did it happen for you? How is it was it for you? And they're going to try to find out how they can duplicate or replicate this process. And unless they go through the process, they may not be able to achieve the same results. Now, of course, I met many young people who are extremely rich in money and also extremely rich in experience. Not everyone has the same journey. So, as long as you to see yourself as a valuable person, as a valuable individual, no matter where you are in your journey, in your I'm I'm right now in my 30s. You don't have to see yourself like you are too old now to begin, or saying you are too young now to start, right? Zig Ziglar had a phrase where he says, "You're never too young to teach, and you're never too old to learn." Meaning, as long as you have the right mindset and the right attitude and the right resources, and you put in the right energy, then you should be able to develop yourself to a point where, regardless of your age or social status, you should be able to climb up. And along the way, you're gonna need help. And your perspective or the way that you should look at it is that you are not asking for a handout. But everyone in some point in their lives, they need a hand up. And so you ask for that hand up. And you can also give others the hand up. This video now that I am sharing with you, it's my virtual or digital hand up as I share these points, messages, strategies, or however you want to label this. This is me giving you the hand up. Now it's up to you to take the required action so that you can get to that level that is up. Moving forward is the key. Going backwards, it's not always the key, but sometimes it's what then catapults you forward. So if you feel that you were at this point in your life and suddenly you went down rather than going up, it might be because in an analogy, people say when you hit bottom, the only way is up. And this, it's experience. You can't Google experience. Artificial intelligence cannot give you experience. It can give you lots of data that can help you make better informed decisions, but experience is only earned through going through it. That should make you wiser. If you go to an experience more than twice and you don't learn the lesson, then you should rethink, or you could rethink your thought process or your analysis process, because it may not be serving you well. It may not be doing you as good as it could. And if you don't understand something, it's always helpful to look for someone to help us understand and interpret from their perspective how this experience could be good for me. And suddenly, now you have become a better person through living the experience, but never stay static. Because staying static, it doesn't take you anywhere. You have to be in constant flow of thinking, flow of movement, flow of your conversations, so that others can get to understand and see what you're thinking about, how you're thinking, the quality of your thoughts and your ideas, and they can make a decision whether they want to continue to associate themselves with you or disassociate themselves from you. Yes, I'm not saying you're the greatest person in the world, but we can aim to become as great as we possibly can become. Let me see if I can enable the chat here, because I know a couple of people may have a question. I'm just not as familiar with this platform. But I hope these lessons give you at least some sort of a framework so that you can then find yourself. I was trying to check the live stream here. You can find yourself in a better position. My name is Ovi Vasquez. And if I can just recommend you one thing that you can do to have a better day every day, listening to the talks or the books by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. The power of positive thinking. And from there, you can take it on your own. I wish you all a beautiful day. See you on the stage.